Welcome to our lesson number 2 online, again during the coronavirus pandemic. Today we shall look at Ken Savory, particularly the first Savory. It is the most important Savory. It's actually the most important movement in Aikido. It includes all the yin and yang of Aikido. I'll explain a little bit, but we'll focus today on that first Savory. Well, first, the Ken Savory. Well, first let me explain a little bit about the Boken. This is Boken. Boken stands means wooden sword. This particular one here is one that Saito Sensei, this is his inscription here. He gave it to Bill Witt Shihan, who gave it to me during a special occasion many years ago. But in any case, this Boken here is a weapon that we practice with in Aikido, and it's different from the real sword, the katana, that is used in other arts such as Kenjutsu or Iaido. So for a completely different purpose. So we call this a Ken Boken, and it's very different from the other sword. So I'll explain that a little bit later. But the general principle is we practice Ken and Jo, in other words, Wukiwaza, for the purpose of enhancing our taijutsu. So we discover more Aikido through Wukiwaza, and that's the main purpose. The purpose is not to practice how to use a sword for itself, but to use a sword to understand how the body works. Let's keep that in mind as we go forward. So the etiquette was important. You saw me walking over there to the weapon rack, taking the sword off the rack and bowing toward the shaman, meaning I take the sword with reverence and I'm going to use it for a good purpose. And by bowing to the shaman, to O-sensei, it's like I get permission from him to use this for the right purpose for which it is intended. Okay, so after that, normally, if you're not using this sword and you just need to walk around, explain a few things, you hold it on your right side. If you are ready, hold it on the left side, right next to him, because that's where swords are usually worn on the left side of the body. And when you get ready to bow to your partner, stand like this here and bow forward from the hips. Then put your hand here, draw your sword out, and stand in Ken Kamai. Ken Kamai is a stance for Aikiken. Let me explain. This Kamai is based on Hami. Hami, we won't have time to go into detail about Hami today, but just know that there's a tip right here and there's a base right here in the back. This is a tip. This tip here aligns the body in a particular direction, and it has to be the same alignment as the tip of the Boken. Wherever the tip of my toes are pointing, the tip of the Boken should be pointing in the same direction. So it wouldn't be like this here, it wouldn't be this way, for example. So they need to all go together. Ken Kamai. My weight is right in the middle. Not forward weight, not backward weight. The weight is right in the middle. In other words, I can either move forward or backward or turn in any direction very quickly. Okay, so weight in the middle. And the tip is slightly up. Tip of Ken. is slightly up, because I'm standing here with my hips level. At the end, as opposed to at the end of a strike. At the end of the strike, the both hand is parallel to the floor, the tip is lower, and my hips are down a little more. Tip of my hips here, right hip here, has come down. So from here to here, there's a big difference. Okay, so Kenkamai is here. But despite that, Kenkamai is not a resting stance. It is a ready stance. In other words, from this stance here, you should feel like you are able to move in any direction. Move forward. Okay, or from here, move back. Or from here, move to the side, quickly. But today we'll just do the first Shaburi. So from here, in Kenkamai. First, before we do the movement, let's make sure we check on the grip. Left hand grabs at the bottom, right here. Not like this, right at the bottom, right here. Right hand above here, about one fist away from the other one, or right at where the suba, the guard, would be, like right here. You can feel the notch right here. So the right hand goes right there. And the grip is strongest with the little fingers. Little fingers, I'll move a little closer here so you can see. Little fingers here, these two fingers here. Grab firmly, same as this two. Grab firmly. That's the connection between the body and the ken. And it's very important. The weapon should feel like it's part of your body. Raising the bokken should feel like raising my arm. And this is the connection. Okay, so the little fingers are connected to the lower part of the arm, which connects to down here. These three other fingers, or the thumb is to wrap around to the other side. These two fingers here, are connected to the top part of the arm going over here. So when you grab here, firmly here, you should feel your shoulder blade going into the spine, forward like this, rather than going back this way. Go forward, forward here, grab firmly. A firm connection is very important because when we use a weapon, the torso or the central axis rather move the body, which moves the arm, which moves the weapon, in that order. Okay, so it is not that the arm moves the weapon and then the body follows. It's not like that. It's the central axis moves first wherever we want to go, which means usually the hips. Then the arms follow, and the arms are hopefully connected to the weapons here. Then the weapons follow. That's why it's important to grab firmly. Firmly, but not like rigidly, like this. Your hand should be able to move, like this. There are different practices of the sword where your hands need to be able to move this way. I'll show in the other Shaburi. Okay, but for now, remember, firmly with the little fingers, and these three, this bottom two here has to do with your hips, connected directly to your hips, provides a power to the bokken. These three here on top here have to do with direction. It tells you where to strike. Okay, so these three for direction, these two here for power. Remember that. Same thing here. Okay. So grab firmly, Kenkamai. Raise the bokken over the top of your head. Then come forward to come down. Raise the bokken over the top of the head. Come forward and strike down. Now we'll dissect and explain those a little bit more. I'll stand at this angle here. So when you raise the bokken, okay, so first hips extend out, extend this arm out. Both arms extend out, so the both hand will feel like this. It's like the both hand is pivoting right here. So this. So as you bring your right hips back, this arm goes in relation to this hips here, which pushes this hand forward. Okay, so this hips goes back, right side goes back, meaning both hand does this. Okay, just mechanically. This goes back, this goes up, because this side goes back. And if I keep the right connection here, this is what happens at both hands. It does this. And this hip goes back, brings the legs in. The leg in. So I go from here over to the top of the head. The midpoint between the two wrists is right on top of the crown, about 5 or 6 inches right here. This is too much forward. This is too far back, like about here. And the elbows are slightly relaxed. They come up out this way. The body is at its tallest, right here. Then, from here, as I go forward by starting to move this side of the hips forward. So the hip goes forward, just bring the foot forward. And because since my hands are connected to the both hand, the little fingers especially, it will bring the both hand along like so. And I let it come forward and down. Here, again, the weight is right in the middle. The weight, the center was coming back, and then it comes out like right here. Okay, so it's not like here. I'm here. Because I need to be able to move in any direction again after this strike, after this, and down here. And back to Kenkamai. Raise the sword over the head. Okay, now the breath. The breath pretty much takes care of itself. When you raise the sword, the body comes in, the arms opens up, the arms go up, the in-breath happens naturally. When the body goes forward, the arms squeeze forward, comes together, squeeze down, so the breath comes out very naturally. So you don't have to worry about that at all. And it comes out, you can do a kia. So, we'll point out 3 important things, 3 important movements. First one, you have seen my central axis moving from here to here. It moves back and forth. But you have seen also my central axis going from here to here. So in other words, it rotates. So it goes back and forth and it rotates. Then, as it goes forward, it's also sink down. Okay? Now list those 3 things. So it moves back, move forward, turn, and sink down. It drives the energy down. It sinks down by doing certain things. It sinks down by this hips here. Normally it would be level. Kenkamai hips are level. At the end, the front hips go down. So like a motion that like a screw that goes down into the earth. The spirals goes down like this, like that. Down. So those 3 movements are very important. The 4th one that is also very important, that you may not be able to see right away, is the body comes back and extend out, stretch like this, and goes forward, it comes forward, down, it squeezes forward a little bit. So the body has a particular elasticity of the side of the body. The arms go up, arms go forward. Okay, so arms go up here and come forward, squeeze. I'm exaggerating so you can see the movement. Open here, body relaxed, open, straighten up a little bit in the back here, and come forward, squeeze forward. So there is that, I don't know what to call this particular movement yet, but it's squeezing forward. Okay, so there's that one here, that one there too. So one of the good thing about practicing first Shaburi is that you can do the same move all the time. You can repeat it 1,000 times if you like our 1,000 Boken Shaburi strike during Gashu, for example. What it does is it also helps focus your energy. So your energy comes in toward your center. From the center, it goes out in a very focused manner. Comes in again to your center. It goes out, comes in again to your center. And it goes out, comes in to your center. It goes out. So that in and out exchange of energy is what we're practicing for. That's much more important than the movement itself. That is the substance of the Boken practice. So, in and out, up and down, the yin and yang. And this particular move, as I say, is a basis for all Aikido movement. Taking energy in, sending energy out in a focused manner. So practice this correctly every day. If you've been just watching, now it's time to pick up your Boken and do a few hundred Boken strike. And make sure to pay attention to those little details that I pointed out. Happy practice. Till we see each other again. Bye.